Now, the latest on the crackdown against Johnson & Johnson, India's top drug regulator, the CDSCO, has drawn samples of Johnson & Johnson's baby powder from the company's plant in Himachal Pradesh. Now, this is a part of India's investigation into the US pharma major's baby powder and comes just days after reports exposed as to how Johnson & Johnson actually knew about the cancer-causing asbestos being present in its products for several decades, and despite that, continued to sell that product across markets around the world.
कोई न्यूज़ अपीयर हुई थी, काफ़ी देर से ये मैटर चला हुआ है यूएसए में भी, और इस बेसिस पे ये इसी चीज़ को असर्टन करने के लिए कि एस्बेस्टस की मात्रा उसमें है या नहीं, इंस्पेक्शन की गई है, कुछ चीज़ें रिकॉर्ड भी चेक किया गया है, सैम्पलिंग की गई।
The collected samples will now be tested for the presence of asbestos. Regulators will also be checking if the brand complies with the regulatory and manufacturing standards. Johnson & Johnson has further said that they are fully cooperating with the Indian authorities by providing them with tests and samples. Now, the company has maintained that its baby powder is asbestos-free and does not cause cancer. This is what it claims, contrary to what investigations have in fact revealed. Remember, long-term exposure to asbestos in fact increases the risk of lung cancer and mesothelioma. And also, Johnson & Johnson's baby powder, however, has been used in India for several decades. There are children over several decades who in fact grown up having had the milk out of the baby powder that's sold by Johnson & Johnson, and it happens to be an extremely popular product in the country.
From the birth of my baby, Johnson was one product which I did not have to rethink. I used it ever since the birth of both my kids. So that's a shocking news. I wanted to switch. I don't want to switch to any other product, but still, if this news is correct, then I'll have to switch.
And Johnson & Johnson is already in soup in the United States. A jury in Missouri has ordered the company to pay $4.69 billion to 22 women. The women had alleged that the company's talcum-based products, including its baby powder, contained asbestos. And this was something that was known to the employees in Johnson. The audit reports within Johnson & Johnson had also shown the presence of asbestos, but despite that, the company continued to sell these products. Now, the products were carcinogenic, and that is how they developed cancer. And Johnson & Johnson has, of course, lost its motion to reverse this verdict in the United States. Now, Johnson & Johnson has further said that it plans to buy back its product worth almost about $5 billion. And this comes after a whopping $40 billion was, in fact, wiped off from its market valuation in India. Meanwhile, the baby talc powder continues to be on sale. Going by the popularity of the product, one can understand as to why the shopkeepers are not yet ready to take Johnson & Johnson baby powder off the shelves.
बेचेंगे हम जब तक उसके बारे में कोई भारत सरकार इसके बारे में कोई क्या कहते हैं जानकारी हमें नहीं देता कि भाई आपको जॉनसन नहीं बेचना, इसके हेल्थ मिनिस्ट्री हमें कहती है जॉनसन नहीं बेचना, तो हम नहीं बेचेंगे फिर।